Hello. We want to look at how to score high in Jamb and study medicine. That's the top strategies. I was somewhere and I met a student who scored 300 and right now he's in UNILAG studying medicine. So, but when I see students ask that, how can I score in Jamb and study medicine? I think medicine, if you look at averagely in all the departments, the medical students should have high mark in Jamb because of the demand, and also when they sit for post-UME or during the post-UME screening, they should also score high. So, but many people just wonder that medical student, being a medical student or probably a secondary school science student, why do people get 300? How do people get 225? And some people talk, 340, 310, 290. Well, how do they do it? And you wonder how even you yourself can do it. Well, it's not a big deal. It's just for you to read. You have to use the create time. Forget about the social media. You just have to read. And some of the strategies we are going to use involves, number one, you have to understand the JAMB exams and format syllabus. Like for example, you know that, well, your chemistry, you'll be targeting having 70 or 80 in chemistry. If you're not so good in physics, you'll be targeting 70 or 60 in physics. Then your English, you'll be targeting like 80. And your biology, targeting like 80. So if you understand the JAMB exams format, then you know that out of the 40 questions in chemistry, you will have to at least get 80 in chemistry, 70 in physics, 80 in biology, and 80 in English. You'll be on your way to 290, 300, and 310. So that's why then you have to look at the syllabus. You have to get a book or a syllabus of how these topics are. You don't just have to read and read, but you have to read based on the syllabus. The syllabus JAMB gives you is just like it's just like a point of precise. You have to be precise. You have to read based on their syllabus, and which is going to help you very well. So to make reading easier for you, check the objective, you check the syllabus, and you continue. Then how do you create a effective study pattern and manage your time? You just have to create time. You don't look at which time is convenient for you. Some people read early in the morning, probably anything from 4:30, they read to 6 o'clock, and some people read at night based on what you do. If you have students that go to school probably from morning to evening and they might not, but early hours of the day works. But I'm going to tell you that what works best mostly is having to read early hours of the day. The early hours of the day, probably anything from 4, even some people read from 5 to 7, which is very good. You'll have at least read very well, rested your brain very well, then put something. And the more you read, then the more you widen your horizon, then the more you get used to it. So you just have to read and read and read like never before. And not only reading, then you have to work effectively with the study plan. So that's then what about the study materials? Do you have the study materials you have to work with? So you probably have some textbooks. Also, JAMB past questions should be by your side. So you have to, and now things are easier when you have the social media. I mean, when you have the internet, when you have AI. If you pick any topic, you can easily generate questions. When for example, let me give an example. If I'm talking about chemistry and you are finished reading atomic structure, probably you read it very well. Then go to your AI, go to your Meta AI or ChatGPT. Then the best thing you do is generate 30 questions on atomic structure or 20 questions on atomic structure. See if you can answer those questions. You understand? So then after answering the question, write down all the answers. Then request for an answer. They look at if you have 15/20 on that alone, then you have learned. You have really gained a lot from that. So you will need to get a resource from JAMB preparation. Then you need your textbooks. Then you're not doing much unlike WAEC or NECO when you have to read for nine subjects. This one is just 4. For medical students, it is math, physics, chemistry, and biology. So with those 4, I think you should not have problem of getting their resource materials. Then also requirement for studying medicine in Nigeria. You should have it at the back of your mind that the requirement you are aiming at 300, 310, 320, or probably 350. Even if probably you didn't get much, then you should be falling around 290, 280, then 310, 305, 315. Then you will not stress yourself. So that's just make requirements for studying medicine a part of you. You also need that, okay, so I'm aiming at 300. Just have a target of getting 300. So if you have a target of getting 300, you don't have any problem. Now let's look at Jamb score over 250. So if I'm talking about 250 is more, but I would prefer you aim at what? 300 plus. So but when you get 300 plus, then you can actually, from this 300 plus, then you can actually get probably 4 to 290, 280 something, then which is better. Then 5 O level credit. They're gonna those days when they use credit though. Now you should be having, it starts from WAEC, then you have what? 5 B's or A's in your relevant subjects like chemistry, physics, and biology. So then also your post-UTME prepare for the specific exams. But you have 5 A's or B's, which will help you because some schools do screening. So by the time you are doing screening, you no longer don't settle for credit. Credit doesn't work anymore because credit will bring your jams, your screening score down. So in order to avoid such, that anything that will bring you down, then you have to aim at from the WAEC. That's why I usually tell my students, anytime you want to write the WAEC, aim at A's. Just make sure you are, especially in those 5 relevant courses subjects, then you must make sure that you try as much as possible to have A in chemistry or B in chemistry, A in physics or B in physics, A in biology or B in biology, then of course A in mathematics, then A or B in English. Those 5 subjects, that's the starting point of medicine. So if you want to study medicine, you look at requirements like, okay, I must have 300 plus, and if I cannot get 300 plus, you should be within range of 280, 290, and 300. So work towards that and you'll be fine. Then also have it at the back of your mind that we have all medical schools in Nigeria have their own requirements. But the top ones, look at University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, ABU, IFE, all these schools, even the federal, for some federal universities have their own criteria, and the demand is just there. So when you talk about top university, these top schools means that you have to jack up, you have to make sure you have high scores. So if you have high scores in all these things, then you'll be able to talk of having a 300. With 300 to 90, then you should be admitted. So these are some of the criteria which you need to have. So if you are to aim high, if you are talking about scoring 300 in Jamb or getting high mark in Jamb and getting admitted for medicine, then you must remember that you have to read. You start from your SSC, you have to make sure you have A's and B's in your top 5 subjects. Remember the top medical schools, like I said. Then your Jamb score should be aim at 300, even if you have 290, it still work, which is still very okay. Then also you have to look at requirements for studying medicine in Nigeria. Then top study materials like Jamb past questions, your AI, your textbooks, your chemistry, physics, and mathematics, biology textbooks. Everything has to be intact. Then you have to create a very effective study plan. Let reading be part of you. You can probably read in the evening or read in the early hours of the morning, and that is so. And understand the Jamb format and syllabus. Not so hard, simple questions, but technical, I can tell you, because you have similar answers. You have very similar answers, so you have to make sure you pick the best. And how do you pick the best? You must have read and prepared very well. So everything is just about reading. Getting high score and reading for medicine in Nigeria, in Nigerian schools, is not that hard. The only thing you have to read, create time for yourself, understand the syllabus, put at the back of your mind that you must aim at having 300, and you are there. So take care, subscribe to the channel.